Oh no. Oh god. You okay? We got all our oars. Oh no!
This is my story of how I rode this boat across the Pacific Ocean. That's me, Cassidy. Come relive every unforgettable moment with me through the incredible highs and the intense lows during my 38 days, 9 hours, and 3 minutes at sea. Day 8. It was a tough start and an even tougher finish. During my 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. off shift, I was woken up by our off-course beeping alarm. It wasn't anything too serious, and it happened so often I was able to fall back asleep pretty quickly. But shortly after, I was woken up again by a rush of cold water on my legs seeping through my sleeping bag.
I was woken up this morning to extremely cold water flooding in our cabin and soaking my entire sleeping bag. Good news, the water's cleaned up. Bad news, I don't have a sleeping bag to sleep in next off shift, so I'm gonna be cold. We also don't understand how the water's getting in. There's a vent, and we're pretty sure it's coming in through the vent, but we closed the vent, so if the vent's closed, why is it still coming in? We don't know. Someone tell me it gets better than this.
We speculated that the water was coming in through the vent because of the big waves crashing on the deck of the boat and flooding the deck of the boat. It didn't happen again after this, and it wasn't a huge issue, but it was so frustrating and just not a pleasant way to wake up. The waves seemed to be getting bigger and bigger by the day. Throughout the entire day, we had 4 to 5 knockdowns.
Fastest team in the fleet and still gets last. Yeah. World record. Fastest daily average and still lost. Oh no. Oh god. You okay? We got all our oars. You okay? Yeah. I'm tangled in your fucking thing. Oh no. Oh no. We're not really okay. Her oar is tangled in my harness, and we are getting turned around. I'll turn you. Thank you. You got it?
right before the end of my 10 p.m. shift. Laura and I were rowing when we were hit by a rogue wave and capsized.
Right around 10 o'clock, because it was right around the time that me and Kate would have been switching shifts. Laura and I are rowing and we get just hit by this wave side on. And in the moment, like, I didn't see it happening. It's pitch black. I can't see anything. But when it happened, like when we got hit by the wave and the boat is completely on its right side, all the water on the right side is like rushing into the boat. And it's so fast, but in the moment I had time to think, this is it. This is going to be a capsize. And within seconds, another wave came and hit us, and we flipped. And I had a headlamp on to be able to see the compass in the dark, and I don't know, I just remember like being underwater, and it's so fast, and you feel like you're in a washing machine. You don't know which way is up. You can't even really like swim anywhere. We're harnessed in, so we're attached to the boat, and the boat is flipping. But I remember, like, my eyes must have been open because I remember seeing, like, the rush of the white water and the light. Like, the light was lighting up the rush of the white water in my face. And I remember, like, as soon as I popped up for air, I just screamed for Laura, and she was on my right, which really confused me because she should have been on my left-hand side based on our positioning on the boat and all of that. But it was just so relieving to like know that she was safe, and we were both like immediately like panicking to get back on the boat, which is not easy to do. It's not easy to get back on these boats, but I remember seeing we have these safety lines on either side, 2 of them on either side of the boat, and I remember thinking, okay, I can like grab the jack stay on the deck and pull myself up out of the water, and then like be able to like use the deck of the boat to like push the rest of my body onto the boat. And so I told Laura, like, I'm gonna go under this safety line, but I didn't say that. I said I'm gonna go under. And she thought I meant go under the boat. And she was like, no, don't go under. But that didn't happen. I didn't go under the boat. I just went under the safety line. And so I get on, and Kate, a little bit before I got on, Kate had come, opened the stern cabin door, and making sure we were there and we were okay, and she helped pull Laura up, and we were trying to get the boat to kind of flip back all the way over, so it was still on its side at that point. And we were all kind of yelling at Elena in the bow cabin to get on side 2 so that all the weight could kind of tip us back so we were level again. And at one point, Elena had opened the door, the bow cabin door, and I just remember Kate yelling, Elena, do not let water get in that cabin. And it is really serious. If water gets in and we go back under, the boat won't flip back over how it's supposed to. But after Laura and I were back on the boat, Kate made a call to the safety officer letting him know that we capsized and we were safe and we were going to throw out the pair anchor. And then, yeah, we got everything set up to throw out the pair anchor to kind of just stay put for the night and not have to deal with those big waves in the dark again. And after we did that, we were kind of just taking inventory of everything. We knew we had lost some stuff. But right before we were like, okay, let's get like warm and cozy and get in the cabins and be safe for the night, we realized we were missing 2 rowing seats. And we only have 3. And it was super super disheartening. We didn't know what it meant for us. We didn't know if we could continue on. We didn't know if we would be able to continue on. I think all of us for a second thought it was over, and it's only been a week. But it was kind of this is a tomorrow's problem. And so me and Kate got into the stern cabin and got warm and made some phone calls to some family and let them know, because we wanted to make sure that nobody was worried, because you can see it on YB races that you're not moving. And then Laura and Elena were in the bow cabin, and we just spent the night on Pair Anchor. The next morning I was pretty out of it. I was like, just felt like I had been hit by a train. Super sore, super tired, hungry but didn't want to eat, probably a little dehydrated. And just thank goodness for Kate and Elena. They both took care of us the whole day. They did all the things that they needed to do on the boat to get it prepped and ready to continue rowing, which meant making a fixed seat, so that we could still have 2 people rowing at least. We found out that our dagger board had broke, so they fixed that. We had a line around our rudder, which meant that we wouldn't be able to steer, and so they, Elena was holding Kate's feet over the top of this stern cabin to untangle that line from the rudder. They just did so much. They cooked for us and just let Laura and I rest in the cabins and sleep and stay warm, and it was much, much needed.
But unknowingly, being in the cabin this long, my mind started to wander, and that wasn't always the best thing out there. On and off, I started questioning if we were making the right decision to continue on in this race. I was really conflicted on if it was worth it, how long it was going to take now that we didn't have 2 rowing seats, and how much pain I might be in without a rolling seat. There were just so many new unknowns that started making me feel uneasy, anxious, and just uncertain if we were doing the right thing.
But officially back to routine. I think we're all feeling okay. I think for me the capsize was not as scary as I expected it to be. It's been something on my mind for the last 2 years, and as the race got closer and closer, it was something that weighed heavier on my heart. But it happened, and it was less scary than I thought. It was exactly what everybody said it was going to be. The boat did exactly what it's designed to do and flipped right back over. It was quick, and I got on the boat and was making jokes.
Before going in the cabins, I had to fully undress to keep the cabins dry. So all of my clothes, my foul weather gear were just soaked. And I had to take all of that off on deck before I went in the cabin and put it in a little bag. And I remember Kate handing me my towel from in the cabin and wrapping that around and looking at her and saying, "I'm naked and afraid."
Yeah, it was definitely happy to be safe and happy that the boat is okay. We lost an oar in the process, and 2 oarlocks are really bent.
Prior to the capsize and all of the knockdowns on this day, Laura and I had actually talked on camera about...
I know Kate wanted us to be better about tying stuff down, so after mine I'm gonna try and...
I was thinking that too this morning when I was laying in the cabin hearing all the chaos and like that. I know there's a lot of stuff out there not there.
Yeah.
I think capsize will probably lose it.
Yeah.
Of course, in hindsight, we should have listened to ourselves and we should have acted on that right away. It's like our intuition was telling us it was going to happen and we just weren't listening to it. This meant that we were officially down 3 oars, 2 were broken, and 1 was lost in the capsize. That meant we only had 5 oars left. At this point, we were mostly rowing 2 people on, so it didn't cause a huge issue, but throughout the race, there were plenty of times where we wanted to row 3 people, and we just couldn't. We only had 1 extra good oar, and the other 2 were broken, so we weren't able to use them.
All in all, we're good, and we're still moving, and we're still making our way to Hawaii, and from what everyone tells us, we still have a fighting chance in this race. So, underdog story, here we come. But even if we don't get a record or a win, even if we come in last place, it's a super great story to tell, and there's a bigger purpose to this row than I even thought there would be.
I remember right before it was my turn to row again, I opened the cabin door and I just looked at Kate and asked her, how slow are we going? And I was surprised to hear that we were still moving at 3 knots on average, which is what we were doing before the capsize. It was such a relief to know that we weren't moving any slower without a rolling seat. And it just gave me a little bit of hope that it was going to be okay. Once I got on the oars, had some sunlight, and realized that our speed was okay, I really did start to feel better again. Laura and I rode from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. before Kate and Elena took the entire night shift. They wanted to make sure that we felt comfortable rowing, and I think they maybe knew more than we did that the capsize, especially at night, had really shaken us up, and we were still a little uneasy about that. And so they offered to take the entire night shift rowing for us, which again was just so generous and we were so thankful for. My goal in the race was to win and to potentially break a world record. But my why for the race was to inspire people, inspire them to chase after their goals, no matter how big or small, and despite everything that might be working against you. And day 8 really solidified that for me. Our purpose in this race was so much bigger than winning or breaking a record. And I'm so appreciative of that. Of course, I'm competitive and I would have loved to win. But having such a unique story and so many lessons taught to share with people is worth so much more than saying, I won a race. We have our day 8 and day 9 letters. Day 8 is from my brother-in-law, Brad. He says, you got this. Can't wait to see you. You surprised me at your sister's house, so I wanted to surprise you on your boathouse with this letter / note / postcard. I'm Uncle Brad. I hope you can hear my voice and I can give you a little laugh, giggle, chuckle. Always be good and never stop doing what makes you happy. Love you, sis. And day 8 from Trenton, he writes, motivate. I hope the days are getting easier. You're doing something phenomenal and awe-inspiring. Keep being resilient and stay focused. See you at the finish line. The days weren't quite getting easier yet, but we were definitely being resilient, and that, I think, is exactly the word to describe day 8, but to also describe my entire crossing. Day 9 is from my friend Carly, and she says, if you need to pass some time, or specifically 2 minutes and 16 seconds while rowing, karaoke tequila. You won't even need the lyrics. This is a little bit of an inside joke. Seems like just yesterday you were telling me all about Latitude 35, And here you are tackling the challenge yourself. Not surprised. Keep going, Cassidy. I couldn't be more proud of you. You got this. Love you endlessly. And day 9 from Trenton. And he says, another day, another dollar. Keep working hard and stay tough. Remember, it's all mental. Whenever you're feeling tired, just remember all of the loving and encouraging people waiting at the finish line for you. I'm sure everybody who followed remembers day 8 just as much as I do. And it's a day I won't ever forget.